And welcome to Cruise Control, your on air automotive magazine. We're just getting ready to go. And I'd like to say hello to Les Jackson. Hello, Les Jackson.
Hello, Fred Staub. How are you this morning?
I'm good. And we've got a big
Yep.
roster of stories. And one of them is an iconic automotive brand about to go away. A lot of
Yeah,
people are talking about Jaguar, aren't they?
they are, and that's always bad to to hear. In the years we've been doing our shows, we've lost a lot of big brands.
We sure
So
have. We
anyway,
sure have. Anyway, this might be another one. And we're going to tell you about the Italian cousin to the Dodge Charger. We saw the Dodge Charger last week. There's going to be an Italian cousin to it.
there's an Italian cousin, and Mercedes is unwrapping its AMG hybrid, which
Yeah,
is now wow.
that's going to be pretty cool. We're going to talk about that. And also a bit of trivia. Five-cylinder cars. Do you remember five-cylinder cars?
Well, there was the Chevy Traverse, I believe.
Colorado, I believe.
Colorado, sorry.
And the and
Uh,
the
and there was wasn't there a Volvo
yep, there were Volvos, there were Saabs,
Saab?
there were Audis, but we'll tell you what the last one. There's one still on sale, and we'll tell you what the last one is. But we'll go down memory lane a little bit on that,
Ah, perfect.
and don't call it a recall. Over-the-air updates are pretty
Hmm.
common these days. There's a group petitioning to their Tesla owners. They're petitioning NHTSA to say we don't want these called recalls anymore. So we'll kick
Well,
that idea around.
it's a voluntary recall.
Yeah, I mean, I guess their point is you don't have to take it back to the dealer. You don't have to do anything with it. But you know,
Mm, yeah,
you know,
I could see some flaws in that idea.
and
Uh,
you have a story about Cadillac as
yeah,
the graphics.
the V series is 20 years old, and they are teasing their future. Interesting. I vividly remember the first V series I drove, and it sure doesn't seem like 20 years ago.
No, no, it doesn't seem like 20 years ago, but it is, and they're teasing their electric future. They're going to be revealing some things real soon, probably at the New York Auto Show, I would say. So
Probably.
that's at hour one, and then in hour two, we're going to talk about the Ionic 5N. You drove the Ionic 5, you loved it,
Yep.
and now there's an N version of it, which is pretty cool.
Yep. It's a neat car. I don't see any or many on the road,
Yeah,
but that doesn't mean anything. It's a niche market.
yeah. What's interesting about these cars is they go deep into it too. It's not just oh well, we'll add some menus to the display and a couple of aesthetic things on the outside. They go in and they reinforce brackets on everything and add greater steering feel. They get pretty deep into it when you look at the specs, and
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. So we'll talk about that. And yes, the venerable traffic light. Is it getting a remake?
Yep.
We'll tell you why. It's
Exactly. These, by the way, traffic lights are much more expensive than you think they are.
I never bought one, never had to.
They are very expensive.
I use the complimentary ones.
Excellent. Yes, that's right. They're free. If
But you always have to use them because if you don't use them, they're no longer
then it
complimentary.
then it's expensive.
Then it's expensive. Yeah. Hey, we'll be right back with cruise control. So stay tuned.
This is Cruise Control. Your on-air automotive magazine with co-hosts Fred Staub and Les Jackson. Everything you need to know about new and used cars. Industry news. We'll fix or repair your car on the air. Fasten your seatbelts and let us take the wheel. Now, your ride is about to begin. Because you're on Cruise Control. Cruise Control. Cruise Control.
And welcome to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. Hello, everyone. It is Fred Staub and Les Jackson. How you doing, Les?
Just great, Fred. Just great. I'm sure you are too, and we're eager to get some pretty interesting stories out there today.
Yes, we are, and we're going to start with one that, a lot of people probably don't want to hear. I don't really like to hear news like this, but is Jaguar getting ready to go away? The whole brand. We told you a little bit about it last week that they weren't going to sell any more internal combustion engine cars, and electric cars wouldn't be around until 2026. Well, now it looks like they're cutting back on their dealers as well. So,
yeah,
what's going on? Not good stuff.
That's got to be a bad letter to get if you're a dealer.
Yes.
Anyway, Dodge showed us the new Charger recently. We talked about it. But it's going to have an Italian cousin. And you realize, Fred, because I'm half Italian, it's the law. I have to drive the Italian vehicle.
Yes, you have to meet the Italian cousin and spend some time with it. Yes.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, that sounds good. And we're also going to talk about Mercedes. And Mercedes has a brand new AMG hybrid. It's funny, like everyone has gone from all electric to hybrid overnight, including AMG too. So we're going to tell you a little bit about that and tell you some of the specs, and I'm sure it will be affordable. What do you think?
Okay, if probably less than your house, but not much less. And a little bit of trivia. We're going to try to name some 5-cylinder cars sold in the U.S. and tell you that only one is still available.
Yeah, numbers always were pretty even with car engines. Yeah. 4, 6, and 8, and 12, and 10, and 12. But 5 was always a weird number, but there were some out there, and we'll test your trivia knowledge on that, Les Jackson.
That's right. And you have a little bit of a recall story.
Yeah.
Or can you call it a recall?
Yeah, that's it. A lot of Tesla owners are saying and petitioning NHTSA to say, hey, you know what? We don't want over-the-air updates called recalls. We want them called over-the-air updates. So we'll kick that around. What do you think?
I don't want to call it an update. I don't mind not calling it a recall, but we'll talk about that. Anyway, the V-Series Cadillacs are celebrating their 20th birthday this year. They've been around that long, the CTS-V and all those. And they're teasing their future. They don't plan to go anywhere.
All right. Well, we'll talk about that and more when we come back on Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. Fred Staub, Les Jackson. We'll be right back.